Hello, football faithful, and welcome back to another episode of Eagles Talk with Deeg. My name is Brenden Deeg. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. It would be greatly appreciated. You can also rate the podcast and review the podcast wherever you do listen to your podcast. It would also be greatly appreciated. This episode is sponsored by CoolBet. CoolBet is the most transparent gaming company in the world. CoolBet also provides the best odds in Canada with world-class customer service. For first-time users, use the deposit code DOINK, D-O-I-N-K, DOINK, for a 100% welcome bonus of $200 when signing up with CoolBet. That's code DOINK, D-O-I-N-K, DOINK, and CoolBet will match your first deposit up to $200. Give our friends at CoolBet Canada a follow on Instagram and Facebook at CoolBet Canada. CoolBet, stay cool, and bet responsibly. It's been a while since I've seen my friend here, and I'm very happy he's back. Thomas Petersen, Breaking the Birds YouTube channel, is here. Thomas, how we doing?
What's up, my man? Merry Christmas, or
Merry Christmas
to you too. Late Christmas. Happy New Year's is probably more appropriate now. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been nice. Frankly, it's been nice to just have a little bit of time off, right?
So you, what'd you do Christmas? Well, any exciting news? Anything you get? Did you get anything cool? Any Eagles swag? Anything like that?
I got a carpet for my dog with an Eagles logo on it, and that was an early Christmas present. And the Eagles are I think they're 3-0 when he's been laying on it when the Eagles are playing. So superstition is on, baby.
That's something.
We're always scratching and clawing for some superstition. But other than that, no, I got a bunch of mountain bike stuff so I can hopefully not die when I crash.
There you go. I ate a chocolate bar about 20 minutes ago, like a big up chocolate bar, and I'm feeling it right now. I don't know if it was the best idea to eat this big chocolate bar.
It's going to be a good show. Is what we're talking
I've literally I've just been crushing all the Christmas chocolate over the last few days for some reason. I don't know why.
That's what Christmas does.
Yeah, literally. I feel like I should be saving it for a long period of time, like throughout January and stuff. But the fatness in me just needs to eat it all right away.
Got to get the deposits up so you can use it throughout the year. I mean, Christmas is always that stock up period,
Yeah.
I believe that's a medical term. I'm not sure.
So yeah, January 3rd, we're going back to the gym. It's been a couple of weeks, Thomas, but it's chocolate time. And it's Eagles time. Philadelphia Eagles, 8-7, baby. Another victory. They have now won 6 of their last 8 games. It's just in the big picture thing. We're going to be talking some big picture in a bit, but it's insane how far they've come since 2-5. After that Las Vegas Raiders game, I remember watching with my buddies, and I was thinking, I was talking Russell Wilson trade packages. I was talking, what the hell are we doing in this offseason?
We were talking losing to the Lions on purpose.
Yeah, literally.
Are the Eagles better than the Lions?
Yeah, that literally was a conversation.
That was the conversation.
It's crazy to think how far they come. But we'll save that conversation for about 10 more minutes away. I want to talk about Jalen Hurts in this game. I think this was a very interesting kind of stock up, stock down game for the quarterback. He ended up finishing strong, but with a tough start. You did a YouTube breakdown on your channel, Breaking the Birds. Make sure to check it out. It was great. You dropped it yesterday. What were your big takeaways from our man, number 1, Jalen Hurts today? Or in that game?
I think the biggest takeaway for me is how positive a surprise I was from the first half. Because when I was watching it live and watching the broadcast, I was like, what is going on? Why are the New York Giants the kryptonite for Jalen Hurts? Because it's just like he left. It looked like he just continued where he left off in the last game with those 4 turnovers, and then he comes out throwing that near interception for Dallas Goedert and fumbles the ball on the next drive. And you're just going, really? Are we doing this? Are we really going to miss any chance of a playoff spot because of the Giants? Really? And that entire half, they were just checking boxes for things that could go wrong. Drops here, penalties, missed field goals. And so I was expecting to see a bunch of open receivers and Jalen Hurts missing throws and missing open guys. And that was not at all what I came away with. Of course, there was the first drive and where the near interception thrown for Dallas Goedert. That was a good play up until the point where he actually threw the ball. He moved around the pocket. He stepped up when it closed out. He stepped back. He looked downfield to see if there's any options, and then he scrambles out. He expected Dallas Goedert to go more outside. He didn't, and that's why it was a near interception. It was not a good decision, but really it was the sequence of plays leading up to that where the first thing happens is Dallas Goedert drops an easy 5-yard completion, and that
Yeah.
was a nice play to see from Hurts because he timed it. Zone coverage, Dallas Goedert coming in across the middle. He just waited for that last second, pulled the pin at an appropriate time, and it's just dropped. And you're going, come on, man. And then you have Devontae Smith catching 4 yards after that. And if they just completed, in the sequence, if Dallas Goedert made that play, it's an easy third down. And then the next drive, we have another drop pass from Miles Sanders out the backfield and a good read by Jalen Hurts. We have a tipped pass on a screen play. And it was all good decisions made by Hurts, and it was good play calls that simply just got blown up because either one, the target wasn't catching the pass, or two, the defender made a play on the ball and breaking up the pass. And so the fumble, I was mad when it happened. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad when you read technical issues.
All right, with little technical issues, we're back. Thomas, get going back.
That's when a physician meets technology. Like things go wrong.
Go.
All right,
yeah.
Right. So I was talking about the fumble from Jalen Hurts. Like he gets hit from a blind spot from a guy coming downfield and on a pass rush. It wasn't that bad when you look back on it. And so really, what I'm left with from that whole first half is a bunch of missed plays from basically every single player on offense. Miles Sanders dropping passes, Jordan Howard dropping passes, Jalen Reagor dropped the pass. And Dallas Goedert dropping.
City the last two games from this team. Ton of drops.
A lot of drops. And really, I think Jalen Hurts delivered good timing on passes. And there were some options downfield, but on those plays, he's getting pressured by Nate Herbig, who gave up a couple of pressures in this game, and he actually delivered good passes on those. He had the pass a little bit later in the game for Tyree Jackson, who's coming open about 15 yards over the middle. He delivers the ball for him. He could have delivered a strike for Jalen Reagor down the field, but he gets pressure right in his face at that point. So the chances of him throwing it far enough aren't really that good in that spot. So he puts a good ball on Tyree Jackson, just flat out drops it again. So really, this game, I'm coming out thinking Jalen Hurts on a bad angle, throwing the football really well, good concepts, just blown up because it wasn't executed by the rest of the offense. So a bad play here, a bad play there. It's what happens. But otherwise, I was actually impressed.
Yeah, you know what? I think the first half, like, of course, when we were watching it in real time, everyone's kind of freaking out. Like,
we're
it
kind of
looked
freaking
bad
out
from the start. Yeah, like, and then again, I watched the condensed version of the game. I didn't watch the L22, but the condensed version, they looked flat. They looked like they came out tired. They looked like they didn't have everything going. And I agree, the skill position players definitely did not help him out a lot. But once Rodney McLeod picked off that pass in the second half, that was game changing. And again, I know the first half was bad, but I don't think people should be kind of putting too much stock into the first half of this game. I thought he played fine. I thought the Eagles offense as a whole played pretty well. Devonta Smith, man, like I think this was Devonta Smith's. Like, this is the reason why you trade up and draft him. He took over this game. Like, that catch he made down the right sideline was a number one receiver catch. Like, that was a big boy, I'm going to go fucking get that ball type of catch. And they needed that. They needed that in that time, right? Like, there wasn't a lot of offense clicking until that point.
He just has that mentality. When the ball is in the air, it's his. Like, he wants that. He's going to go get that.
And you could see, like, the way he went up and got it. Like, he looks so prime. He looks so fresh. He's well-tuned as a wide receiver. And like that catch at the corner of the end zone, the tiptoe catch, like that was great. Like I think this was his best game. I didn't watch the L22, and I know you see more on the tape, but just from the eye test, just from the condensed version and watching it live, I thought this was Devonta Smith's best game as a pro.
I mean, he's just stacking games at this point. And last week, that catch he had against Washington, also on the sidelines where it's ruled incomplete and then reviewed and it's overturned to a catch. I mean, he's making catches where you're just looking at it and go, that cannot possibly be a catch. And you're looking at it at the review, and it's like, how the world?
Yeah.
He is so impressive, man.
No, he's really good. And they needed him in this game. Like, they needed a spark on offense. Yeah. And he was it. He stepped up big time.
And I think you said it with this game. They looked flat, and thank God it was the Giants, because they're not going to be able to do this against better opponents moving forward. Like, if they have to play for something in week 18. If they have to beat the Cowboys to get in the playoffs, that could be a scenario that we're going to face in week 18. Of course, if the Vikings start losing in either this week or next week, then it doesn't matter. But if they're going to have to beat Cowboys, we're going to have to see a flawless game from the offense. They can't come out looking flat like this. They have to catch the passes thrown to them, have to execute the things that are being put out there by Sirianni. So, like, they got exceptional amount of drives here because the Giants went 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and you're not going to get that many opportunities to kickstart your offense when you're going against a better team. So it was a short week. It was a messed up situation with the postponement of the Washington game. They got out there. They looked flashy in the second half. They got things under control. I think that was the major takeaway from that game.
I tweeted this out. I've watched a lot of football in my life. I've watched a lot of bad football in my life. I've watched a lot of good football in my life. I have this take that New York Giants game, that Giants performance on offense with Jake Fromm led and Freddie Boy Kitchens calling that pull his plays might have been the worst offensive performance and football performance I've seen in my maybe top 5. I don't know about worse, but it's got to be up there. They were awful. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Jake Fromm was just terrible. Like, they were bad, Thomas. They were very, 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 very bad.
Yeah, they were really bad.
Top 5 bars. Hey, like, they only, like, I'm not nothing against, like, I'm not saying this takes away anything the Eagles did. I'm just saying, like, they were
it was bad.
They were atrocious. Jake Fromm did not belong, deserve to be on that field. Okay, let's transition to defense here before we kind of move on to kind of big picture stuff. The defense is now 15th ranked in DVOA. They just kind of beat up on Garrett Gilbert and Mike Glennon and Jake Fromm, like we just mentioned.
So QBs,
have you seen a lot of improvement from this defense over the last few weeks? Because they were 24th in DVOA just 3 weeks ago. So they've shot up 9 slots in that ranking. I'm actually having a hard time using DVOA this year. I don't know if you are. I feel like the DVOA is very swayed this year. Like, I don't. There's
just so many bad teams.
Yeah, like I'm having a hard time using DVOA as kind of like an argument point for my podcast and my writing this year. Just it's kind of all fluctuating up and down. But hey, they're 15th now, so they're about league average. Have you seen anything different over the last couple of weeks that Jonathan Gannon and this defense has done to kind of improve? Because they played really, like, the stats don't lie. The stats, they're playing really well.
Yeah, they haven't given up to me. I mean, like you said, I mean, the guys they've been going up against in the past weeks have been, I mean, what we're talking Zach Wilson, Garrett Gilbert, Jake Fromm. Who did the Saints start? Was that Taysom?
No. It was Taysom. It was Trevor Siemian.
It was Trevor Siemian, right?
Yeah.
And then Teddy Bridgewater. So the past 5 QBs haven't exactly been explosive offense going against here. But I mean,
Trevor Bridgewater, Trevor Siemian, Daniel Jones, Zach Wilson, Garrett Gilbert, Jake Fromm.
Yeah, and so we knew the big tough stretch was in the beginning. That's when we were going against the good offenses, and that was looking bad. It was looking really bad.
Yeah.
And so things are kind of evening out a little bit here. I don't think the defense is doing anything wildly different from what they've been doing in the first couple weeks, but I just think they're going against lesser opponents, and they're kind of gelling a little bit more. They're playing in the same scheme throughout the season. Still very zone heavy, still kind of sporadic blitzes, but it's been better execution from the players.
Do you think the defensive line has played any better? I thought they played better in this game. I think it noticeably just a little bit more juice.
Yeah, they're getting. I mean, they're getting pressure, and I think it's more testament to the guys that they're playing aren't getting the ball out under 2 seconds. Like we talked a lot about this in one of the podcasts that QBs just generally tend to get the ball out very quickly against the Eagles, and when they're going against offenses that really can't do that or don't get the reads off quickly, then defensive line is going to have more time. They're going to get more pressure, and it's going to look better for the secondary. And I think Fletcher Cox has stepped up a lot, especially in the run game. As a pass rusher, it's been on and off, but in the running game, he has been stocking up a lot more, putting the offense in more longer yardage situations on 2nd and 3rd down.
Agreed. And I think there's actually something to Fletcher Cox playing better in the later parts of the year. Like I think like historically he's had a much better December. And I remember that 2019 run when they lost to the Seahawks in the playoffs. I think he was really, really good down the stretch for the Eagles in those months. That I don't have the stats in front of it. I know historically he's been a better player towards the end, and they could really use him to step up in these last 2 games. Okay. Why don't we get our last ad read done, and then we'll talk some big picture Eagles conversations here. Hey, fellas, this episode is sponsored by Manscaped. The global leaders in below the waist grooming are leaving 2021 the new product to clean yourself with the year, their ultra premium body wash. Also, special offer alert: use code DOINK, DOINK for free shipping at manscaped.com. 4 million men worldwide trust Manscaped, so it's time to join them. 2022 is on its way. And the last thing you want is to be the guy with pubes getting in your mouth, in your way of making this year your best yet. 2021 sucked, and that's why Manscaped is making a splash and upping your grooming game. Their signature lawnmower 4.0 is here to take down every pube in its path. Get 20% off and free shipping. Use code DOINK, DOINK at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping. Use code DOINK at manscaped.com. Happy New Year to your balls from the Double Win Podcast and Manscaped. All right, Thomas. I think the biggest storyline with this Eagles team right now is Jalen Hurts' ankle.
Yeah.
When you were watching the tape, did you think that his ankle looked like iffy? Because I noticed it when I rewatched the game again. There was a couple plays where I felt like he could have took off. He didn't scramble once. He didn't scramble past line scrimmage once.
He tried. He tried
a couple of times. Yeah, that's my point. But did you see any less juice from that ankle watching it? Because if he isn't 100% with that ankle, this is a different offense. This is a different team. I think it drastically changes everything because they need him 100% in the run game. That is the kryptonite. That is what teams can't stop. That's what teams are afraid of. And if that's not there for them, they could be in trouble.
Yeah, I didn't look at him and think the ankle was a problem. I didn't. I think he looked as natural in terms of when he's starting, like he started to take off up the middle a couple of times in this game where he simply just got closed in by the Giants, and their defensive interior simply just closed in on it, and he a few plays where he tried to take off up the middle, then it closed, and then he tried to scramble out to the sideline, and there's a defender on him, and he got 1 or 2 yards to the sideline or threw the ball away, and really, it was nice to see that he didn't just put on skyscrapers and just go straight towards the sideline or that long pass for DeVonta Smith. So maybe what we're seeing a little bit and what we're interpreting as ankle issues, maybe it's a little bit more of him looking down the field a little bit more instead of taking off in those situations. He put a juke on I believe it was Landon Collins Tuesday, in Tuesday's game. In the red zone, he put a juke on him that was very similar to the one he put on Granderson of the Saints, where he stole his ankles, and juke Landon out of his cleats. And from that play, he did not look limited at all. And I don't think I saw more of that in this game. I think he's fine. Okay. Does it hurt? Sure. I mean, it hurts to have a sprained ankle. It's going to hurt for a long time, but I didn't see it as an issue as soon as he got warm and started getting going.
So the Eagles injury report came out about 40 minutes ago for Thursday's practice. He was a full participant, according to them. So that's a good sign. I think that clinching this week is huge because if you can clinch this week, then you can keep him off it. Now, there's some scenarios here where like the Eagles have a chance to get the 5th seed here.
That's bonkers.
If the Cardinals lose out and the Eagles win out, and the Cardinals losing out isn't crazy to say because I think they play
the Cowboys.
Arizona Cardinals. They play the next 2 weeks. They play the Cowboys this Sunday, and then they play they finish to hosting the Seahawks. Now, Seahawks have been a bad team. That's a divisional game. Anything can happen. So, look, I think Jalen Hurts is keeping him off his ankle is just as important as maybe getting the 5th, because I think you want to avoid Tampa and Green Bay, the 2 Bay teams. Like I think you want to stay away from those 2 teams. But I don't think there's a big difference in anyone like after that. Like I don't see the reason to forcibly play Jalen Hurts in Week 18 to move up a one more seed or 2 seeds if you can rest his ankle for 1 more week. That's again question. We don't know. But
if the Cardinals lose out and the 49ers win out, do the Eagles still have the 5th seed?
That's a good question. I don't have
because
that exactly in front of me.
Eagles, like the 49ers would have the tiebreaker over the Eagles, right?
Yes, they do have the tiebreaker over us.
They do have the tiebreaker, and they're at 8-7 as well right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they have the Rams and so
So the
perfect
49ers have to lose.
situation.
The 49ers would have to lose one game, right?
Yeah.
Because if the Eagles
So
win
the
out, then they're 10-7.
perfect situation for the Eagles would be 49ers win this week.
Mm-hmm.
Vikings lose, Eagles win, Eagles clinch a playoff spot, regardless of what spot it is.
So the Eagles need the Vikings or the 49ers to lose. They need one of the two, then an Eagles victory, and then a Vikings loss. Right? No,
Exactly.
So one of the 49ers or the Saints to lose. Sorry, my apologies. One of the 49ers or the Saints lose this week, then an Eagles victory, and then a Vikings loss on Sunday Night Football to the Packers. It's going to happen like at 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 8 o'clock. Like,
it
Eagles
is.
are going to have like the entire day
right
to watch this unfold.
But the perfect thing would be if they clinch this week, but Dallas also beat the Cardinals, so there is an option for the Cardinals to lose out. If they lose, because then you'd have this like Eagles would clinch, so there'd be no problem in losing to the Cowboys in the last game. It would suck, but they'll be what it is. They're still in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But if the Eagles were to beat the Cowboys then, and the Cardinals were to lose to Seattle, then you still have the 5th seed. So it would be like you'd be secured a playoff spot. The worst thing that could happen would be if the Eagles missed the playoffs in a week 18 loss to the Cowboys.
Oh fuck.
That would be the worst ending to this season.
I don't know if I'd be able to handle that. I don't think my body, my frame, everything involved in this right here would be able to handle that situation.
You need a lot more Christmas chocolate then.
Literally. I would have to go buy more
and
chocolate.
Vodka.
And vodka. Vodka and chocolate. I think they clinch this week.
Yeah,
I'm not just being homer here. I think that's the most realistic option. I think 538 had it at a 46% chance it happens. That's when I looked yesterday. I don't know if anything changed, but it's not crazy. Like the Vikings are gonna have to beat the Packers, and then I think Washington's a dead team walking right now. That game against the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football was embarrassing. I don't think they have as much juice left. I think all the momentum is swinging Philly's way. I think if you put this game on a neutral field in week 8, I think it would be a different story. I just think where they're playing right now and this time with everything that happened, I think the Eagles will just have the momentum going. They're healthier. Washington's been banged up. They have some issues just internally. I just think week 17, the Eagles win this game. And then, you just need a Saints or 49ers loss. It's not crazy at all. And it's insane that we're in this situation right now.
Yeah, and Washington needs to lose this game to be in the upper tier of draft picks because the NFC is so stacked right now in that 8, 7, 7, and 8 and 6, 9 range. So they're going to need to lose this game to be able to get up there and draft a quarterback. If they're they have to. It's kind of important actually for the Washington to come out here out of this game with a loss, and the way that the way they're setting up in this game, we're probably going to play Kyle Allen, also going to play Tyler Heineke, and I mean Antonio Gibson's probably not going to play because why would you? Montez Sweat is probably not going to play because there's really nothing he's going through so much right now that there's really no reason to pull him back to the team.
I don't think either Montez Sweat or Antonio Gibson are going to be playing in this game.
No, me neither. And that will be huge. So I'm not as concerned, Jinx. I'm not as concerned about the Eagles losing. I'm more the interesting part of this is Vikings against Green Bay, in my opinion.
Oh, it'd be so cool to watch the Eagles clinch on Sunday Night Football. Oh my God.
Who would have thought?
It's let's talk about that now. Okay, so the Eagles are 8-7 right now. Again, we talked about, they were 2-5 after the Las Vegas Raiders loss. Okay, we were talking about on this podcast. I think we both predicted a Lions victory against the Detroit Lions. I did. I thought the Lions were going to win that game outright, and then look, just change from here.
Every time I predict the Eagles to lose, they win. Yeah, I mean, that's how it's been on this thing.
I don't think our predictions have been very on point. I don't think it's the.
I think you've been pretty on point, actually.
Oh, I don't think so, man. I think I've been just as bad. So Miles Sanders had successful hand surgery actually last night. It looks like, so it doesn't look like he's going to be back. So I don't know if that's a full source. I don't know if I'm reading the right source here, but he had hand surgery. It looks like last night. We'll stay tuned on that one. But anyways, okay. So again, 2-5, Eagles lose to the Las Vegas Raiders. And then they rally 6 out of 8, and now they're 8-7. What changed? And what do you think the biggest impact? Like, if I know it was do you think it's just straight up the run game? Like they just ran the football? Like is it literally that easy?
I think I've been pretty. If I'm going to pat myself on the back in this season, I think I've been pretty consistent in saying that I think Nick Sirianni's offense can work. I think I said that when they were going through their losing streak to begin with, and I think that
the game against the 49ers, actually, when we talked about it on this podcast, you were saying how good the tape looked and how the offensive, the combinations, the passing options were right. Like it looked okay. They just weren't executing.
But what we also talked about was the need to get the run game going to get some of the weight off of Hurt's shoulders, and that is exactly what we saw. And now they're creeping up there into a pretty historic good rushing offense in this season. And when we're looking at the schedule and the teams they've lost to and the teams they won against, I think it was pretty predictable, like going into the season, where they would lose and where they would win. If you were to sprinkle out the teams they've been playing against here in the last part of the season, if you were to sprinkle that out throughout the season, and they would have looked like, let's say they're going 10-7, best case scenario, 10-7, and you're going loss, win, win, loss, win, loss, win, win. Like we would have a much different feel about this. But because they're winning against the teams they're supposed to beat, bad teams, the ones that are pulling their strength of schedule down, because like they've had one of the easiest strengths of schedules this season, but that doesn't mean anything if you can't execute against bad teams. And that really is one of the fundamentals of being a playoff team and being a above average to good team, is that you can finish out those teams you have to beat, and they've done that, and that is a big step in the right direction for a team that is carrying 1/3 of their cap space in dead money, who's having a second-year quarterback playing in his first season with a rookie head coach and one of the youngest coaching staffs maybe ever in the NFL. That's pretty darn impressive to come out at this point. And we're thinking playoff clinch week early, and of course they've been helped a lot by how mediocre the NFC has been, and it's so packed in the middle. But I mean, looking at their schedule, that Giants loss was just horrendous. We looked at that and said, what is going on here? I mean, that they're not supposed to lose that game. 49ers game, they're not supposed to lose that game either. We're looking at the Chargers game. You and I both agree that if Jalen Hurts got the ball back to end that game, they would have won it.
Yep.
Defense did not step up there, didn't get the stop. They had chances. They didn't get it done. It was a very close game. And then you're looking at Raiders, Buccaneers, Chiefs, Cowboys. Those are the 4 games that you're just going, okay, they lost this game. That's pretty impressive going here. We're sitting here after 16 weeks, and 4 of the games were ones we're going, okay, they flat out lost.
Yeah. I think the biggest change and exactly what happened was this may sound just cliche or just like I could not putting a lot of thought into this, but they played bad quarterbacks. I know, and I hate to say it, like I'm looking at the quarterbacks they played. Okay, so there was a stretch where they played Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes, Sam Darnold, Tom Brady, Derek Carr in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 week period.
So pretty good teams.
They went 1-4 in that stretch. Dak Prescott completed 80.8% of his passes. Patrick Mahomes completed 80% of his passes. The Sam Darnold games where they beat up on him, he completed 56.8% of his passes, and the Eagles won that game. That was a win. Then Tom Brady completed 81% of his passes, and Derek Carr completed 91.2% of his passes. Like that 1-4 stretch was ugly. And we talked about on this podcast how the defense kind of mirrors who the quarterback is playing, right? Like if they play a good quarterback, then their defense isn't as good because the quarterback is picking them apart. When their defense is playing a bad quarterback, they step up and they beat down on these bad quarterbacks. And like from week 8, from Jared Goff down, the only good quarterback they played is Justin Herbert. And the Eagles have done, Jonathan Gannon's defense has done such a good job, in my opinion, as just taking what's in front of them, beating up on the bad quarterbacks, not allowing them to have time in the pocket, not allowing them to get the plays that they want scripted up. The defense, in my opinion, has allowed the offense to turn it up. And like you said, and like for instance, in that Chargers game, the defense never gave the Eagles a chance to kind of come back and win. The defense, in my opinion, the defense was the biggest problem for his team, not Nick Sirianni in the offense from the get-go. And then when you start running the ball, just emphasize how good this offense can look. This Eagles offense right now is 10th in DVOA, 10th in EPA per drive, and 10th in EPA per play. They're a top 10 offense, no matter how you want to look at it from an efficiency standpoint. And I think a lot that has to do with the defense stepping up and allowing them to get the ball more.
Yeah, and it will be interesting. It's a hypothetical, but it'll be interesting to see if you switched these two halves of the schedule. If you're going against your easy stretch first and kind of getting everything in place, gelling on the team, getting the scheme, blah blah blah, and then you're going against these good teams to see how it actually affected, how that looked. And that's what we're going to see if they were to make the playoffs in this season. We're going to see them go against a good team, a playoff team, and then we get to evaluate how did they adjust, how much better have they been since that 1-4 stretch.
Yeah, that's kind of the biggest reason why I want them to make the playoffs. I'm just
100%.
so curious. I'm just so curious to see how they look against a decent team.
The ultimate
it's been a while, right? Like the Chargers are the last good team they played. That was back in week 9, right? Like it's been kind of a long time since they played. Maybe Teddy Bridgewater week 10, but like I think the defense deserves a lot of credit just for this turnaround. And again, it's because they beat up on the guys they're supposed to beat up. And look, just because you blow out bad teams, it's not like you don't deserve credit. Like that's what you're supposed to do. Good teams beat up on bad teams. And that's exactly what the Eagles have done. And I think too, like just from the eye test, like when you're watching these games against, even the game against the Giants where they lost, you could tell they were the better team. They had 4 turnovers and they almost won at the end of the game. Right? Like you knew from watching that entire game that the Eagles were the better team. You knew watching this game against Washington on Tuesday night that they were the better team. You knew watching on Sunday against the Giants that they were the better team. The Eagles are passing it on the eye test, they're passing it on the scoreboard, and they're passing it in the statistics. So I think there's kind of no really argument against Nick Sirianni kind of being in coach of the year conversation here. He's done if they win out right now, if they win their last 2 games, he should have serious consideration for coach of the year.
Yeah. I mean,
you're not on that hill with me?
Consideration at least. I don't know how the coach of the year competition works. I mean,
okay, so here are the guys that you could say. So Zach Taylor, the Cincinnati Bengals, they're 9-6. They had a 6.5 win season total. So you could say that, but again, he's got Joe Burrow. Okay, Arizona Cardinals are 10-5. They had an
they fell flat
total, and I don't think Cliff Kingsbury is the coach. Los Angeles.
No, he's
Rams,
not going to win it. Man.
No, Los Angeles Rams. They're 11-4. They were supposed to win. Their season total was at 9.5. So now they're 1.5 wins over that. If you want to give it to McVay, yeah, I guess they have a really stacked roster. Like I think he's kind of done what he should have been doing with that team. Like I don't think he's gone overboard. The Green Bay Packers, Matt LaFleur, their season total was at 10.5. They won 12 games already.
He should just win it because he's been so damn dominant.
Yeah, like I think Matt LaFleur probably has the best argument right now of any coach.
He'll be my guess.
Like Mike McCarthy could be there. The Dallas Cowboys are 11-4. Their win total was at 9.5, so they've already exceeded that. I think that has a lot to do with the offense and Dan Quinn, like the defense. Like Dan Quinn's done a terrific job with that defense. And then the Eagles. Like I think those are the 5. I think those are the 6 teams. Like maybe if you want to put Bill Belichick in there, you could. But I also think
I think you'd have to give Bill Belichick like tons of consideration to this as well, because he's sitting right there flirting with the number 1 seed in the AFC. Of course, they lost a couple games now, so they're probably out of the 1 seed. I'm not quite sure, but you have to give him consideration with the rookie quarterback that he's just bounced back the way he has after, having some questions about him last year about how much was actually Tom Brady, how much was blah, blah, blah. And then he comes out this year and just shows out.
Yeah. And I think if all those teams I just listed, all those names I just listed, the Eagles have probably the worst quarterback heading into the season. Well, maybe not now, but heading into this year, if you took all those teams, the quarterbacks, put them in a ranking, I'm sure many smart people with many smart NFL minds would have had Jalen Hurts last in that group. So I think what he's done is super impressive. And I think it's been kind of a team rally effort. Like it's really cool to kind of watch this team rally and win 6 of the last 8 games. All right. Anything else? Washington football team, like this game coming up on Sunday, I don't really have a lot.
Not much to say. They just have to win this game comfortably.
Yep, and the Washington's going to look like a different team as well since the last time we saw them. because it looks like Taylor Heineke's going to get the start. Their offensive line is a little healthier, so they're going to look a little different. But again, there's probably still going to be banged up a little bit, and I think the Eagles are just a better team. There should be no reason why they can't win this game.
Yeah, they have to. They simply have to.
All righty. I think that's all she wrote, Thomas. Thanks again for jumping on. Do you want to make a prediction before we go?
No, I'm done with prediction.
Yeah.
That is a massive omen if I start doing predictions.
Yeah, I agree. I think they clinch it Sunday. I think they do. I think they get it done, and then we'll be talking. we'll be talking next. We'll be talking next Thursday. Well, freaking playoff scenarios. It's gonna hopefully it's gonna be
hopefully.
Crazy,
yeah, I mean you're seriously jinxing this.
It's gonna be all my fault if they end up losing. But anyways, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure to check out Thomas's breakdowns on Breaking the Birds channel. He did one on TJ Edwards, Jordan Mailata, Jalen Hurts, and Devonta Smith. Is that correct? Those 4 guys? Yep.
So far.
So make sure to check those out. Me and Thomas will be back next Thursday, previewing Week 18 and looking back to Week 17 against Washington. Weekend wagers will be coming to you on Saturday. If you're looking to win some money, check that out. Double Doink Podcast was yesterday. If you missed that, check that out. And we will talk to you later.